We are delighted to have Divine Eme, the fastest 14-year-old in the world with us now.
Yeah,
this is incredible.
and not just the fastest in the world, but just to put that in context, Divine's 100-metre time of 10.3 seconds.
Divine Iheme is just 15 years old, and he's already faster than many of the best sprinters were at his age. He's breaking records, surprising experts, and turning heads in the track world. People are comparing him to Usain Bolt and Lyles. Could this young runner be the next big name in sprinting? Divine Eme was born in Oxford, England, and is the third son in a sporty family. From a young age, he showed natural speed. His coach is also his mom, Nkiruka Anu, who saw his talent early. She's a former athlete herself, so she knows how to train someone to be great. With her help and support, Divine kept improving. He didn't just get better, he kept beating older and more experienced runners every time he raced. That same 10.30-second run was even faster than what Usain Bolt ran at the same age. Bolt ran 10.57 seconds when he was 14. Reports say Lyles was running over 11 seconds back then. So Divine isn't just catching up, he's already ahead. When he heard he had beaten Lyles' time, he just laughed and said, "That's tough. I guess I just work harder." That reply showed how confident and calm he is, which is rare for someone his age. But that wasn't just a one-off performance. Divine followed it up with a 10.41 at the English Schools Championships, setting a new record in the intermediate boys category. He also holds the indoor 60-meter record for 15-year-olds, a distance that tests pure acceleration. That's what makes Divine so exciting to watch. His starts are electric, his acceleration is clinical, and his top-end speed doesn't seem to fade like many of his competitors. These aren't just raw talents. They're the result of disciplined training, smart coaching, and natural gifts. Behind every stride is a story of dedication. Divine is not part of a flashy training camp with sponsors throwing money at him. He trains with PWD Athletics Academy and Radley AC. These aren't global powerhouses, but in many ways, that's part of the magic. Divine is doing all this from a modest setup with family support and a focus on fundamentals. That grounded approach is likely one of the reasons he's been able to stay consistent. There's no media circus, no over-the-top branding, just speed, results, and ambition. His personal best now stands at 10.29 seconds, recorded at age 15. That time isn't just good for his age, it's elite by any standard. For context, many senior sprinters spend years trying to break the 10.30 barrier. Divine has already done it before he's old enough to drive. This raises a massive question. If he's this fast now, where will he be at 18, 20? Could he be the one to break through that next level of sprinting dominance? But with all the hype comes the caution. The world of sprinting is littered with stories of teenage prodigies who burned out before they ever got close to their prime. Injuries, mental pressure, and the weight of expectations can crush even the most talented runners. That's why Divine's mindset might be his greatest strength. He doesn't seem rattled by the comparisons or the attention. In interviews, he talks about enjoying the sport, improving his technique, and learning from each race. That maturity could be what keeps him on track when others might falter. Another intriguing part of Divine's journey is how different he is from the athletes people compare him to. Usain Bolt was known for his playful charisma, long strides, and sheer dominance. Lyles brings a different energy, with his flashy style and smooth transitions. Divine, on the other hand, keeps things quiet. He lets his performances do the talking. He's not trying to mimic anyone. In his own words, he has a unique, natural style, and he intends to keep it that way. This individuality is refreshing in a sport where young athletes are often pushed to fit into molds. While others might try to emulate Bolt's swagger or Lyles' flair, Divine focuses on refining his own technique. That authenticity makes him stand out not just as a talent, but as a personality in the making. And fans are taking notice. Social media is filled with clips of his races, side-by-side comparisons to Bolt, and breakdowns of his technique. The excitement is building, and the track community is watching his every move. Of course, breaking youth records doesn't guarantee future greatness. History has shown that early promise doesn't always translate to world titles, but what makes Divine different is the consistency, the calm, and the pace of his progress. Each race is a step forward. Each season, a new personal best. There's no sign of plateauing, no sign of slowing down. He's not just racing against time, he's racing against a legacy. To be compared to Bolt is no small thing. But to be ahead of Bolt's pace at the same age, that's something entirely different. It changes expectations. It puts pressure not just on Divine, but on the coaches, the support system, and the path they choose for him. Will they push him into senior races early? Will they protect his development? The decisions made in the next few years could determine whether Divine becomes a household name or just another what could have been. One thing is clear. Divine Iheme is not a fluke. He's not just a viral moment. He's a phenomenon in the making. And if he continues at this rate, we might be witnessing the early steps of the next great sprinting legend. For now, he remains a 15-year-old who's already faster than some Olympians were at twice his age. The future is his to chase. So what happens next? That's the question everyone's asking. Will he break into the senior circuit within the next year? Will he face off against the current elite? Or will he stay on a carefully managed path, focused on development rather than immediate glory? Only time will tell. But whatever the future holds, Divine Iheme has already made his mark. He's shown that greatness doesn't wait for the right age. Sometimes it just needs the right moment and the right runner to seize it. The next few years will be critical. As Divine enters bigger races and tougher competition, every decision will count. How he trains, which events he enters, and how he handles the growing pressure will shape the rest of his career. Many talented runners have shown promise early on, but few have managed to maintain that momentum into adulthood. Divine's story could go either way, but so far, all signs point towards something special. Coaches, fans, and even rival athletes are keeping a close eye on him. The excitement around Divine isn't just about his speed, it's about how he represents a fresh new face in a sport that thrives on explosive talent. Track and field needs young stars to carry the torch, and Divine might just be the one to do it. What's most impressive is how he's handling all this attention. Instead of chasing fame, Divine seems focused on staying grounded and getting better. That mindset could be his biggest advantage. If he continues to train smart, stay healthy, and grow at his current pace, there's no telling how far he could go. The big question isn't whether Divine Iheme is talented. He's already proven that. The question is how high he can rise. Could he become an Olympic medalist, a world champion, the next global icon of sprinting? Could he be the one to take sprinting into its next era? The track is watching. The world is waiting.
But look at this from Jefferson Wooden. She's absolutely flying in the night.
Melissa Jefferson Wooden just did something amazing. This 24-year-old American runner went from saving her dad's life to breaking sprint records, and she just showed the whole world how incredible she really is. At the 2025 World Athletics Championships in Tokyo, Jefferson Wooden didn't just win gold medals, she made history. She became the first American woman ever to win both the 100 meters and 200 meters at a single World Championships. Only 3 other women in the entire world have ever done this before her. Let's start with that jaw-dropping 100-meter final. Jefferson Wooden lined up against the fastest women on the planet, including Olympic champion Julian Alfred and sprint legend Shelly Ann Fraser-Pryce. When the gun went off, Jefferson Wooden exploded out of the blocks and never looked back. She crossed the finish line in 10.61 seconds, a new championship record and the 4th fastest time in women's 100-meter history. After the race, she was still processing what had happened. "When I crossed the line, I was like, oh wow, I won," Jefferson Wooden said. "I haven't felt happier. Today was all about me, about trusting my abilities, my coach, the line I have been given, and my faith." But here's what makes this even more incredible. Jefferson Wooden wasn't always a sprinting superstar. Back in 2018, she made one of the most selfless decisions an athlete can make. Her father was diagnosed with a rare blood condition, and she put her athletic career on hold to become his stem cell donor. She literally saved his life, then came back to save American sprinting. The 100-meter field was absolutely stacked. Jamaica's Tina Clayton grabbed silver with a personal best of 10.76, while Olympic champion Julian Alfred took bronze despite running with a hamstring injury. The defending world champion Sha'Carri Richardson could only manage 5th place, and the crowd favorite, 38-year-old Fraser-Pryce, finished 6th in what would be her final major championship appearance. Fraser-Pryce deserves special mention here. This Jamaican legend has been dominating sprints since 2008, winning Olympic golds and 5 world 100-meter titles. Seeing her compete one last time brought tears to many eyes, including her own. she received the biggest ovation from the Tokyo crowd, a fitting tribute to one of the greatest sprinters ever. But Jefferson Wooden wasn't done making history. Just 5 days later, she lined up for the 200-meter final with even bigger goals in mind. Nobody had completed the sprint double at World Championships since Fraser Price herself did it back in 2013. That's a 12-year gap. Here's where it gets really interesting. Jefferson Wooden didn't even consider herself a 200-meter specialist. At the start of 2025, her personal best was 22.46 seconds. She told her coaches she wanted to take the 200 meters more seriously, and as she recalls, they both kind of looked at each other like, "Did I hear what she just said? Is she serious?" Well, she was dead serious. In that 200-meter final, Jefferson Wooden ran 21.68 seconds, the fastest time in the world in 2 years. She didn't just win, she absolutely crushed the competition. The silver medalist, Britain's Amy Hunt, finished nearly half a second behind her. That's a massive gap in sprinting terms. Hunt's story is pretty inspiring too. The 23-year-old Cambridge University graduate delayed her athletic career to get an English degree. After winning her first major medal, she had a message for young athletes. You can be an academic badass and a track goddess. You can be the best in everything. The 200-meter field was missing some big names due to injuries. Olympic champion Gabby Thomas withdrew with an Achilles problem, and Julian Alfred couldn't compete after straining her hamstring in the 100-meter final. But Jefferson Wooden didn't care about asterisks or missing competitors. She ran the race of her life when it mattered most. Defending 200-meter champion Shericka Jackson of Jamaica took bronze, but even she couldn't match Jefferson Wooden's speed. The American was clearly in a league of her own, coming off the bend with a commanding lead and maintaining her smooth, powerful stride all the way to the line. "I came out here and I did exactly what I set out to do," Jefferson Wooden said after her victory. "Not a lot of women double anymore, so for me to come here, do the double and win gold medals just says a lot." But wait, there's more. Jefferson Wooden wasn't satisfied with just 2 gold medals. She wanted to match Fraser Price's incredible achievement from 2013, winning 3 sprint golds at a single World Championships. That meant the 4x100-meter relay. The relay final took place in absolutely torrential rain. We're talking about conditions that would make most people want to stay indoors, let alone run the race of their lives. But Jefferson Wooden and her American teammates, Twanisha, Terry, Kayla White, and anchor leg Shaw Carey Richardson, weren't about to let weather stop them. Jefferson Wooden ran the opening leg in those terrible conditions, handing off to her teammates in good position. Richardson brought the baton home in 41.75 seconds, giving the United States their 3rd consecutive world title in this event, and Jefferson Wooden her 3rd gold medal of the championships. The Jamaican team, anchored by Fraser Price in her final race ever, took silver in 41.79 seconds. It was the perfect send-off for the sprint legend, who actually ran faster on her opening leg than Jefferson Wooden did, clocking 11.32 compared to 11.38. Even at 38 years old, Fraser Price was still showing incredible speed. Fraser Price's career numbers are simply mind-blowing. She's won 17 world medals, 10 of them gold, plus 8 Olympic medals, including back-to-back 100-meter golds in 2008 and 2012. Her 2013 triple gold performance in Moscow, winning the 100, 200, and 4x100 relay, was considered one of the greatest championship performances ever. Until now. What Jefferson Wooden accomplished puts her in the most exclusive club in athletics. Only 4 women in history have won both the 100 and 200 meters at a single World Championships. The others are Germany's Silke Gladisch in 1987, Germany's Katrine Krabbe in 1991, and Fraser Price in 2013. Jefferson Wooden is not only the newest member, but also the first American woman ever to achieve this feat. The numbers tell an incredible story of dominance. Jefferson Wooden went undefeated in the 100 meters throughout the entire 2025 season. She won all 3 Grand Slam track events, beat the entire Paris Olympic final field at the Prefontaine Classic, and never looked back. In the 200 meters, she only lost once all year. Her rise has been meteoric. Just over a year ago, she won bronze in the 100 meters at the Paris Olympics. Now she's rewritten the sprint record books and established herself as the new face of American sprinting. Her 10.61 championship record makes her the fourth fastest woman in history, putting her in the same conversation as legends like Florence Griffith Joyner. When asked about chasing the world record, Jefferson Wooden showed respect for the sport's history. "Flojo is the greatest to ever do it. She put a number out there that's definitely worth chasing," she said, referring to Griffith Joyner's 10.49 world record from 1988. The United States had an absolutely dominant championships overall, winning a record 16 gold medals and breaking their previous best of 14. Jefferson Wooden's 3 golds played a huge part in that success, showing just how valuable one athlete can be to a team's medal count. What's particularly impressive is how Jefferson Wooden handled the pressure. Coming into Tokyo as the world leader and favorite, she could have cracked under expectations. Instead, she embraced the moment. She explained, "Instead of putting the pressure on myself and taking it as something overwhelming, I was just embracing it." Looking ahead to the 2028 Los Angeles Olympics, Jefferson Wooden is already thinking big. "I definitely put a target on my back," she said. "I'm now looking forward to the Los Angeles 2028 Olympics." The changing of the guard in women's sprinting is now complete. Fraser Price has retired as the undisputed queen of the sprints, passing the torch to Jefferson Wooden, who has shown she's ready to carry American sprinting into a new era.
If you really look at my whole season, I've done a really good job of just, blocking out the outside noise and then just focusing on me, focusing on how I can continue to be the best Melissa that I can be.
The women's 100-meter final at the 2025 World Athletics Championships in Tokyo was supposed to be a showdown, with Olympic champion Julian Alfred on one side, rising Jamaican talent Tina Clayton on the other, and veterans like Sha'Carri Richardson and Shelly-Ann Fraser-Price in the mix. The stage was set for a classic sprint duel. But instead, Melissa Jefferson Wooden turned it into a masterclass. Jefferson Wooden exploded from the blocks and within 50 meters had already built a lead that no one could touch. She powered through the line in 10.61 seconds, breaking the championship record and clocking the 4th fastest time in history. No woman had ever run that fast at a world championship before. Her margin of victory was stunning, 0.15 seconds ahead of Tina Clayton, who ran a personal best 10.76 for silver, and Olympic champion Julian Alfred, who claimed bronze in 10.84. Sha'Carri Richardson crossed in 10.94 for 5th, while Fraser-Price, in her final World Championship appearance, finished 6th in 11.03. "I have been dreaming of this moment," Jefferson Wooden said after the race. "Instead of putting the pressure on myself, I just embraced it. When the gun went off, I thought, come on, get out strong. The rest went like a blink of an eye." This wasn't just one race, it was the perfect cap to a flawless season. Jefferson Wooden had not lost a single 100-meter all year. She had run under 11 seconds in every race, dominating fields across the globe and showing consistency rarely seen in sprinting. "This year was about accepting that I wanted to be a better athlete and putting in the work to do so," she explained. The work clearly paid off. From the first Diamond League meets to the final in Tokyo, she was untouchable. Her victory also marked a redemption arc. Just a year earlier, at the Paris Olympics, she had to settle for bronze behind Alfred and Richardson. That disappointment fueled her drive to become the world's best. Now, with her world title secured, she looks unstoppable heading into the 200 meters. Julian Alfred came into Tokyo with hopes of repeating her Olympic triumph, but a pulled hamstring hampered her start and she had to settle for bronze. "It was not my time today," she admitted. Tina Clayton, however, rose to the occasion. At only 21, she showed Jamaica's sprinting future is in good hands. "It is a great feeling to put Jamaica back on the podium," she said after her silver medal run. Sha'Carri Richardson, Jefferson Wooden's American teammate and training partner, was not the same athlete who lit up the track in Budapest 2 years ago. Her 5th-place finish capped a frustrating season, though her sub-11 performance was still a bright spot. Meanwhile, Fraser-Price's farewell brought emotion to the stadium. The 38-year-old Mommy Rocket has 25 world and Olympic medals to her name and left the sport with the respect of an entire generation. As historic as 10.61 is, Jefferson Wooden isn't satisfied. She has her eyes set on the holy grail of women's sprinting, Florence Griffith Joyner's 10.49 world record from 1988.